Have you ever looked at a successful health tech company and wondered, how did they do that? Well, you've come to the right spot. Today, we're going to break down a really powerful framework for turning a good idea into a venture that actually makes a difference. Let's get into it. So what is the big secret? Is it just a brilliant idea that strikes like lightning out of nowhere? Not really. Success in health tech, it turns out, isn't so much about luck. It's about following a proven blueprint, a kind of roadmap that turns a promising concept into a company that can really thrive by solving real problems for real people. And that's exactly what we're going to walk through. The health tech blueprint. You got to think of it less like a lottery ticket and more like a structured journey. This journey really breaks down into three huge stages. First, and this is the big one, you have to find a real, meaningful problem to solve. Second, you have to actually build something that people want and will use. And third, because the market is so crowded, you have to find a way to stand out. So let's start right at the beginning. Okay, part one, finding the real problem. This whole stage is about one thing, achieving what we call problem-solution fit. Honestly, this is the foundation for everything else. Get this part wrong and, well, your venture is likely dead in the water before it even starts. So what in the world is problem-solution fit? You know, it's basically the antidote to the number one killer of startups, which is building a really cool solution that's looking for a problem to solve. Instead, problem-solution fit is that aha moment. It's when you've pinpointed a real painful issue in healthcare, say the crazy high rate of hospital readmissions for certain patients, and you've designed a solution that could genuinely fix it. You don't have a finished product yet, but you have a validated concept. The idea has legs. Okay, but where do you find these problems? You have to become a detective. Seriously, get inside hospitals and clinics, shadow people, watch how they work and spot where things get clunky or inefficient. You need to talk to doctors, nurses, and especially patients. Ask them, what's the most frustrating part of your day? Dive into healthcare data and look for the patterns. Where are costs going through the roof? Where are patient outcomes lagging? You're hunting for problems that happen a lot, have a big impact, and crucially, aren't being solved well by anyone else right now. This little formula right here is an amazing gut check. It forces you to get crystal clear. What specifically is your product? What exact problem does it solve? Who precisely is it for? And the million-dollar question, what's the financial value? Why would someone pay for it? If you can't fill in all these blanks cleanly, you might need to go back to the drawing board. You probably haven't found the right problem just yet. All right, let's keep building here and move to part two. So you've got a validated problem and a really promising solution on paper. Now it's time to actually build something and see if it survives in the real world. This is the hunt for what's called product market fit. Product market fit. This is where the magic happens. It's the moment your solution stops being just a good idea and becomes a real product that the market is actually hungry for. It's the difference between having a clever concept for a patient monitoring app and having doctors and patients actively using it, loving it, and telling their colleagues about it. And this slide just perfectly lays out the difference. You know, the signs are impossible to miss. When you don't have it, you feel like you are constantly pushing a giant boulder up a hill. Nobody's signing up, the people who do don't stick around, and nobody's talking about it. But when you do have it, that boulder starts rolling all by itself. People are signing up, they're using the product, and they're spreading the word for you. A great little test for this is the 40% rule. Just ask your users how they'd feel if your product vanished tomorrow. If more than 40% say they'd be very disappointed, chances are you're on to something big. So how do you find this elusive product market fit? Well, you don't find it by locking yourself in a lab for 2 years and trying to build the perfect thing. No way. You launch what's called a minimum viable product, or an MVP, a version with just the core essential features. So for that patient monitoring app, maybe it just tracks heart rate, and that's it. Then you get it into the hands of real users and you just listen. What do they love? What's driving them crazy? You take all that feedback, you refine the product, maybe you add a medication reminder, and then you repeat the cycle over and over, getting closer and closer to what the market truly wants. Okay, on to the final stage. You've solved a real problem, you've built something people want. Congratulations, that is a huge accomplishment. The only issue is you're probably not alone anymore. And this brings us to part three, standing out from the crowd. This is the battle for competitive positioning. And here's the crucial thing to remember. Having a great product just isn't enough. You have to be able to clearly and convincingly answer the one question every single potential customer is asking themselves. Okay, there are other options out there. Why should I choose yours? This is how you win. You don't have to be the best at everything, but you have to be the absolute best at something that your customers really care about. Can you prove with data that you deliver better clinical outcomes?
Maybe your user experience is just light years ahead of clunky competitors. Or maybe your superpower is efficiency, saving hospitals a ton of time and money. Perhaps it's your seamless integration with all the messy systems they already have. You have to pick your battlefield, plant your flag, and completely own it.
And that brings our three-part journey to a close. So let's take one last look and quickly recap this incredibly powerful blueprint.
It all comes down to this logical flow. You start by finding and locking in your problem-solution fit. From there, you build and iterate your way to product-market fit. And finally, you carve out your space in the market with smart, clear, competitive positioning. Each stage builds directly on the one before it.
So, as we wrap up, the blueprint is now yours. We've laid out the map. The only question left is the one you see right here. What healthcare problem are you ready to solve?